YouTube, what's up? It's your boy Crypto J coming at you with another J Talks Crypto. We talking about some Bitcoin, we talking about some Toshi. We got so much to talk about. I tried to go live, it was a fail, but hey, we got more episodes coming out. I'm just gonna have to, I guess, make 5 times as many episodes for you guys because the live streams are not working out so well. So we'll just kick up the content, not a big deal. As you guys could see, Bitcoin coming in at 108. Also, got to let you guys know, too, I'm not a financial advisor. It's not financial advice. We just talking about some crypto, and we just talking about the trend today because today is Tuesday. Today is Tuesday. This week is going by actually really slow. I'm pretty surprised, but there's so much going on. So much going on, especially if you live in California like myself. The West Side is going absolutely bananas right now. It's crazy, guys. Let me just tell you, as you guys can see, too, the total market cap coming in at 3.4. Fear greed index, I said it was going to be at a 65. Yesterday we were at a 55. Today I said we'd probably see 65, and we're at 64. So was pretty close, pretty close. Nice estimate, I would think. But again, people want to know, is Bitcoin breaking up or is it breaking down? Right? Is Bitcoin breaking up or is it breaking down? We're going to check it out. We're going to talk about it. So you guys can see Bitcoin definitely seeing some volatility right now, and yikes. Oh my goodness, man. Are we seeing it early in the week fake out, or can Bitcoin create some higher lows in this situation and continue to print? We do know that fake outs do happen early in the week, but this 1 year chart looking solid. So maybe we can turn this around. Maybe we can catch some support down here. We do need to develop some new ranges of support on Bitcoin, and that's important. What we don't want to do is see too much rejection, right? Is this a rejection off of 110? Is Bitcoin going to drop back down? If so, again, how much is Bitcoin going to drop down? Can this kick us out of this uptrend that we're in right now? Or again, can Bitcoin still stay strong and still continue to print? Interesting. It's never a dull moment in Bitcoin. Never a dull moment at all. I always feel like the market always kind of moves similarly, but maybe that's just me. I always say that fake outs happen early in the week and then real price action usually happens later in the week. We see some positive price action on a Sunday, and then on Monday we saw Bitcoin run up, and that was very surprising. I was like, okay. But again, that doesn't mean to say that it's for sure confirmed fake, but at the same time, are we reversing our trend again, right? Rising wedge here, and this looks like either we got to start catching some support pretty soon, like right in this range right here, or we're going to really start breaking down again. Interesting. Is Bitcoin going to break down or is it going to break up? I think it's just so crazy right now that we're pumping in this situation. I mean, this 1 week looks solid, though. I just want to say that, though. 1 week looking solid, right? But I do think that it's crazy that we're pumping with all the civil unrest that's going on right now, with all the stuff that's in the news. Like, how come nothing before could pump the market? Like, nothing could pump the market. Like, government's making it good and buying it and all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, there's a big civil unrest and Bitcoin is printing during this entire giant civil unrest. I just think that's a little bit strange. But again, maybe that's just me, things to pay attention to, maybe things not to pay attention to. I don't know. But that's just kind of what I'm thinking. I'm just thinking that that's very weird, right? Let's see what these guys are thinking over here. The old peanut gallery, right? And then we'll go talk about some Toshi. As you guys can see, some people talking about the Bitcoin breakout that happened on the 4 hour. We created a wedge, right? We started breaking out of that wedge. But again, we rejected off of 110 just now. So I want to know, are we going to be able to continue volume? And I don't get my financial advice from the peanut gallery. And you shouldn't either. And you shouldn't get it from YouTube. You should get it as a result of your own due diligence and your own research. This guy said BTC price 110 or 105 next. Yeah, I mean, if we rejected, then yeah, we could possibly see a rejection. He's saying we're going to drop all the way down to here. If he's saying that, then he's saying that this trend has already broken down, that this thing needs to see a retest of 100K. If that's what you believe. Somebody says with BTC hitting on 110, I think it's going to a 140K zone next. That's not necessarily the next zone, but that is very bullish for you to think that. I would think that probably like 120 would be the next zone. And really, we still have to break up above some resistance now. So really, that's not even the next zone. The next resistance zone would probably be at 110. What the? Right? But let's go check out some Toshi. As you guys could see, Toshi having a pretty good day today. Looking pretty bullish, as a matter of fact. Toshi coin looking like it wants to see a break. As a matter of fact, Toshi coin up 6%, coming in at 252 million market cap. Holder count absolutely exploding on the blue cat. And are we surprised, guys? Are we surprised? Some people will say that we were not here first. Some people will say that we have not been holding this coin through all the tough times. Some people will say that, guys. But we know the truth. We watch the holder count grow. We follow this thing every single day, haven't we? It's just been an everyday thing with Toshi. And as you guys can see, market showing a little bit of signs of life. And sure enough, so is Toshi, which is good. Again, some of these coins will not come back to life. You guys got to understand that. Not every coin will come back to life. You know, as a matter of fact, 99% of altcoins will not come back to life if Bitcoin has a significant dump. Only the chosen few will survive, right? So just keep that in mind, that only the chosen ones will survive. And in my opinion, Toshi coin has the potential to be one of those chosen coins because I don't know if you guys know, but Toshi was actually the original Coinbase wallet. It was called Toshi. It was named after the Coinbase guy's cat, right? Now, since then, Coinbase has had some things happen on their platform, which is concerning, which everybody really already knows about. We already talked about those things, but still, I think that Toshi can be that face of Base, that face of Coinbase, and Base is Coinbase's literal chain. So again, is Toshi coin going to be the biggest coin on Base? I feel like it has a chance, even though it's not the biggest in terms of market cap. Our holder count is growing to like crazy. Like the holder count is growing like crazy on this thing. Like I would not be surprised to see this thing hit $1 billion. But again, I don't know what the future is going to hold. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Definitely needs to start breaking up above some of these indicators on some of these smaller time frames, like this daily right here. The 4 hours looking super solid. A lot of stuff looking like a break on a lot of these charts. 8 hour, look at that 8 hour. 8 hour looks like really good actually. It even looks like there's a good size gap here, which we already talked about, the up to like 300, right? So this thing could really run, which is why, again, it was up like 15% yesterday because, look, we were in this heavy oversold zone. Tell you guys about this heavy oversold. I would say that just the other day. I was like, yeah, every time Toshi's floated below this heavy oversold zone, you know, it's actually been a better time instead of complaining to be dollar cost averaging, right? Not telling you what to do with your money. You do whatever you want with your money. You need to do your research, not listen to people off of YouTube. But I'm just, one thing that I noticed is that every time it drops under here and under here and under here, and this trend that we've been in, I mean, some people like to buy it up here. I don't know. Some people are only happy when the price goes up here and then they only buy it up here. And then those same people, they mad down here, right? They're mad down here. Can you imagine that? I'm excited down here. They're mad and they're only happy up here and I'm cautious up here. Isn't that like the opposite, right? I'm like, this is why I always say I'm always thinking the opposite of the market, which honestly, I think that a good trader does think opposite of the market being retail, right? When they're greedy, I'm fearful. And when they're fearful, I'm greedy. That's why I pay attention to the fear greed index. I don't like when it's high greed. It's an indicator that we're going to need to see significant correction. And if we're greedy enough, then the correction might actually be significant enough for me to not be a buyer at certain ranges, right? Until we hit a really lower level. But look at Bitcoin fear greed index right now, right? We've been talking about every time we go create this little bunny ears in this little green area, how we have this drop down. Every time it's been like that. Bitcoin doing something new this time. Bitcoin said, I got one for you. We're going to do something new this time, right? Look, this thing looking like it was going to drop down and then had a total fake out. I guess kind of maybe similar to what it did here, right? We went from green to yellow, back to green, but then we had a drop, right? So again, are we still going to have enough euphoria left in the market, enough bullishness left to push it? I don't know what is pushing this market right now. What good news would be pushing Bitcoin right now? I really have no idea, because we've had a lot of good news, guys, over the past couple months, and nothing has moved Bitcoin. Now, all of a sudden, things are going crazy in the country, and Bitcoin is starting to move after China made it illegal, after all these things happen. So what do we know about Bitcoin, guys? What do we know from that statement? This space is manipulated. Okay? It's manipulated. Welcome to the game, guys. It's always been like this. Since Bitcoin inception, it has been manipulated. Welcome to the club, guys. Welcome to the club, bro. We just follow it. I always say, we're at the will of the whales, right? We're just swimming in the tide, and if that whale comes and he knocks us off course, then it can happen. But at the same time, if we're streamlined behind that whale, we're good. We're good to the promised land. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. I don't know that that's going to happen. I don't know that Toshi will necessarily follow Bitcoin. I know that it is doing a great job of having volume during these Bitcoin pumps, and that's what people look for. As you guys can see, Toshi Coin starting to pick up some bigger buy orders. That's also what big exchanges look for, right? That's why we were able to catch Toshi before it got listed on Coinbase, and we caught a lot of coins, guys. I don't really talk about coins before they list or after they list on Coinbase, except for ones that I really like Toshi. Again, it's already listed, but we continue to talk about it because I feel like Toshi has a lot more exchanges that it could list on. I feel like Toshi is still, in my opinion, underpriced. But again, that's just my opinion, and I could totally 1000% be wrong. So I just want to clarify that too. And I'm not a financial advisor, so again, do not go buy things based off of things that I say. I'm just letting you know kind of my opinions and my predictions. But at the end of the day, I'm not Miss Cleo, and I'm not the money channel. So we just follow in crypto, and we just talking about crypto. But as you guys can see, if Toshi Coin does decide it wants to break, this thing has a nice gap, bro. This price action is actually really nice this morning. It's a good mountain for Toshi. But what do you guys think? Are you bullish on it? Are you bearish on it? Let me know in the comment section. I'll catch you next video. Peace.